Do you love how comfortable the minor pentatonic scale feels under your fingers, but you're kind of bored of those same old sounds? Do you find yourself playing the same old licks? Do you just think the minor pentatonic sound just sounds a little bit cliched because everybody else is doing it and you're longing for some other kind of more interesting, more complex sounds, but actually you really enjoy the way it feels under your fingers? If so, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Mark, and in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a technique called pentatonic substitution. It's a fantastic technique for applying to your playing so that you get to reuse those minor pentatonic shapes and you get to use all those really kind of good stuff under your fingers, but you get some more interesting sounds and you sound a bit different and you stand out from the crowd. So this is minor pentatonic substitution. So thank you for joining me in this video. This is the latest in a series of videos where we're digging into the pentatonic scale. So first of all, we looked at how a beginner would begin to learn the minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic all over the neck and get those under the fingers and remember them so that in like 20 years time you can still remember them, your fingers can still dance around those notes. Then we looked at moving into more like an intermediate player would approach these things. So from a blues context, mixing major and minor together in a blues solo, so you really kind of pull out the differences between those scales. And now in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to look more towards becoming a more advanced player by applying pentatonic substitution. So the way the video is going to work is I'm going to teach you the theory, teach you the technique and the ideas, and then I'll give you an actual example solo to apply this, so you've got a practical example to see and learn as well. As usual, there's full tab provided, there's a full backing track. Check the description below to get those links to those things. So to start with, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you what the pentatonic substitution is. Then I'm going to show you kind of how you can learn it, how you can practice it, and how you can apply it to your own playing. And then we'll look at this specific example where you'll see me use this in a kind of a real world soloing scenario. So what is pentatonic substitution? Well, quite simply, it's borrowing a pentatonic scale from another key. So everything that you're going to hear in this video today is over a backing track that's in A minor. So imagine we're playing a song that's in the key of A minor. So our backing track is A minor, G, F, G, A minor, G, F, E, right? So a standard kind of chord progression that you'd normally use A minor pentatonic over. And what we're going to do is instead of just using the kind of the cliched same old A minor scale, we're actually going to borrow the minor pentatonic from a different key. And the reason to do this is to try and get some more interesting sounds, because when players are looking to kind of get a bit more interesting, a few more interesting notes into their playing, often they'll kind of run off and learn different scales, you know, modes and those kind of things, but those can be a bit tricky. The beauty of pentatonic substitution is that you already know all the fingerings because you've already learned the minor pentatonic scale. We're just going to borrow that pentatonic scale but from a different key. What we're doing is we're kind of repurposing it. So how do we do this? Well, it's quite simple. The rule is that you use the pentatonic scale that's 5 notes away. So as I say, everything we're doing today in the key of A minor. So 5 notes from A minor is A, B, C, D, E. So we're going to use E minor pentatonic. So the rule of pentatonic substitution, dead easy. We're going to use E minor pentatonic over an A minor pentatonic backing track. Okay, so what you're going to, the best way to kind of show you this is to give you an example where I will just play the scales over a backing track. So the backing track is A minor pentatonic. What you're going to hear is me kind of just going over those scales so that you can hear the difference between them. Okay, A minor and E minor pentatonic scales over those. So yeah, so let's go and hear that now. That's over a backing track that, as I said before, uses the chords of A minor, G, F, and E. Okay, so let's go and take a listen to that now. So I hope you're able to hear the differences there. To me, when you play E minor pentatonic over an A minor backing track, it just sounds a little kind of darker and a little bit more moody. So there's many ways that you can practice this. Obviously practicing the scales, practicing moving between the scales. As you saw in that example, I ascended one scale and descended the other. You can do those kind of things. So how do you apply them to your playing? Well, there's many different applications for this. You might play an entire solo in E minor over an A minor backing track just to kind of sound a little different and pull some different sounds out. And in fact, this example solo that I'm going to show you in a moment, that's exactly what it does. What you can do is you could approach it differently. You could play the majority in A minor and then occasionally pull out those E minor licks just to kind of spice things up. You could play an entire section in A minor and then move and play the kind of second half of the solo in E minor, and that's really kind of going to jump out, and the differences are going to be quite obvious. You can be kind of as creative as you want. You could start playing a lick in A minor and end it using the notes of E minor pentatonic. In fact, what you're doing then really is kind of getting a bit of a hybrid between the two. And pulling in, those kind of extra sounds. So there's lots of different ways that you can approach this. Personally, the way I would approach this most of the time is that when I'm playing in A minor, I would occasionally just throw in an E minor lick and it's really kind of going to jump out and sound interesting. But the other approach that I'll do quite a lot is actually just playing whole sections, or in fact an entire solo in E minor over A minor, in order to get that difference in sound. Okay, so we've talked about what pentatonic substitution is. We've talked about practicing. We've heard the difference, how the different scales sound, so that we've got that in context. Next thing to do is now let's have a look at a practical example. So what I've got is an actual realistic solo. I think it's like 9 licks played over that backing track. And then we'll come out the other side and I'll break them down, show you them yourself so that you can hear the licks one by one. And learn them getting under your fingers, tabbing closed, all that kind of stuff. And also make sure you hang on to the end of the video, because there's a little excerpt, little teaser for what's coming next in the next lesson in this series. So here's the example. So that was the example solo, and what I'll do now is I'll take it apart and show you it, show you all the licks one by one, tab on screen, that kind of thing. Before I do, quick thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. It's a massive support. If you're watching this video, you like this, you find this lesson useful, please let me know in the comments, because I'd really actually appreciate knowing whether actually anybody takes any of this stuff seriously and likes it, or wherever. And if you get anything useful out of this, if this can improve your own playing, please let me know. Yeah, please hit subscribe as well. Very close to getting 10,000 subscribers, which is kind of like a big milestone as far as YouTube's concerned. Anyway, I'm waffling too much. On with the licks. So the example solo, it starts before the licks come in. There's like a little 2-bar thing that's going on. And in the backing track, what actually happens is it starts with an A minor chord, this one here. You know, kind of very Beatlesy. Gotta love me Beatles. What I did when it comes to solo over that is I simply played this. Okay, and what I'm doing there is I'm pulling out 3 of those particular notes. I'm pulling out a D on the 12th fret of the D string, an A, which is the 14th fret of the G string, and then a G. That's not a G. That's another D, which is where are we? 15th fret of the B string, and then just hitting those twice and then sliding down. You'll notice that's essentially a D chord, or 3 strings from a D chord, kind of pulled all the way up to the 12th fret. So if you have a D chord like this, those 3 strings of a D chord, you just bar that all the way up here. Right, you should have a chord there. Okay, on with lick 1. And lick 1 goes like this. Okay, and now I'll do it nice and slow. Okay, so we're actually in E minor pentatonic box position 3. We're sliding into, where are we? So I'll take you through the notes. It's 7 on the A to 5 on the D, back to 7 on the A. So that goes like this. Okay, and then I'm jumping up to 5 on the B string, going 8, 5, 7, 5. So 5 on the B string to 8 on the B string, back to 5 on the B string, 7 on the G, back to 5 on the B. So that section nice and slow. Put the 2 together nice and slow. Okay, and once more, up to speed. Okay, and up to speed you get the phrase, and when I play it slow, I always kind of, the phrasing's not quite right. Anyway, that was lick 1. Lick 2 now goes like this. Okay, so again, box position 3 of E minor pentatonic. If you don't know your box positions, please go back and check out those earlier videos where I teach the minor pentatonic all over the neck. Box position 3 is where we are. We're in the key of E minor. Well, we're playing over an A minor, but we're playing an E minor lick over that. So our lick starts off 7 on the top E, pulling off to 5 on the top E. Then we play 8 on the B, 5 on the E, back to 8 on the B, 5 on the B, 7 on the G, back to 5 on the B string. Okay, I'll take you through that nice and slow, and as I say, tab will be on screen. So we start off with the pull off, then we play 8 and then 5. 8 on the B, 5 on the top E. Okay, so that little piece. And then we play 8 to 5 on the B string, 7 on the G, back to 5 on the B. Okay, whole thing nice and slow. Okay, and up to speed. So lick 3 now goes like this. Okay, and it's a fairly standard kind of bluesy lick that you find pentatonic. It sounds different because we're using pentatonic substitution. Okay, so nice and slow like this. Okay, and it's just sliding between 2 to 4 on the G string, grabbing the B string at the 3rd fret, and then sliding back down from 4 to 2 on the G string. So that part goes like this. And then what we're doing is we're pulling off on the G string and then hitting the D string at the 2nd fret. Okay, put the two together, you got this. And up to speed. Okay, so that was lick 3, that was box positions 1 and 2. Now we jump all the way up to box position 4 of the E minor pentatonic scale. And box position 4 is kind of easy to remember because it's the one that sits under this E minor chord here. So whenever you see that shape of a minor chord, you know that box position 4 sits right around there. So box position 4. So we're going to play a few licks now using the note, those particular notes there. Okay, so lick 4 now goes like this. Okay, and if you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me do this one before. Okay, so it's going to start by bending the 10th fret of the B string all the way up a whole tone, and then grab the 10th fret with my little finger on the top E. So that the first two notes go like this. Okay, and then what we do is we bend 10th fret back up again on the B string. So that little piece goes like this. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we bend the 10th up a whole tone, bring it back down, come off to 8, and then hit 9 on the G string. So the second part goes like this. Okay, put the two together, nice and slow. And up to speed. Okay, so that's lick 4. Lick 5 now goes like this. And again, you may have seen that one done in one of my previous videos as well. Again, taken from this E minor chord shape. That's kind of what I'm visualizing when I'm writing these licks. So what we're doing is we're playing 8 on the B to 9 on the G, 7 on the G to 9 on the, where are we, D string. So that's just like a little small 4-note pentatonic walk down. Okay, and then we're going to walk back up, 7 on the G to 9 on the G before we hit E at the 8th fret of the B string twice before resolving to 9 on the G. So that second part now goes like this. Now I am giving that note there, that 8 on the B string, just a little push, bending it slightly. You don't have to. It's just kind of something I do. I can't even help myself. So put those two parts together and you get this. Okay, and you'll notice the whole time the way this lick works is I'm just targeting that E note on the, where are we, 9th fret of the G string. Kind of the whole lick is just kind of bouncing around that and resolving to it. Okay, so that was lick 5. Lick 6 now goes like this. Okay, now I took this from one of my previous videos. There seems to be a lot of recycling going on in this video, doesn't there? So I made a video at the start of this year which was acoustic blues licks, I think I called it, something like that. And that's kind of like a really cliched acoustic blues lick that you play in the key of E. I'm repurposing it, doing it in A, and it just sounds different, sounds more interesting. So I'm still playing technically in the key of E, but it's over an A backing track, so it sounds different. Anyway, it's really simple, but sounds fantastic. It's just using, well, the first part just uses 2 notes. It's the it's the 8th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the top E. And what you're doing is when you're hitting that B string, you're bending it slightly sharp, and then you're hitting the top E. And then you're just doing that again. And you do that, what do we do, 3 times. So you get this nice and slow for the first part. Okay, and then up to speed. Okay, it sounds great. dead easy to play. Okay, and then the second part, then what I'm doing is I'm hitting, what are we doing? 10 on the top E, 7 on the top E, 8 on the B string, 9 on the G string. And you'll notice that those last 3 notes, they're taken from that top part of that E minor chord. So it's all playing around with that E minor shape up there, that chord shape. So that second part goes like this. Okay, so put the 2 together nice and slow. And up to speed. Okay, that's all there is to it. Right, so lick 7 now. This one's a slightly more difficult lick. This one's a bit more challenging. I'll take you through it. Actually, first of all, let's play it up to speed. Okay, so there's kind of a lot of notes going on there, kind of ripping through it quite quick. I'll do it nice and slow now. Okay, kind of a lot going on with the pick. There's a section in the middle where we're essentially doing like a little sweep. But yeah, anyway, you'll get it as you go through. Right, I'll take you through the notes. We start on 7 on the G string to 9 on the G string. Okay, then an 8 on the B to a 7 on the top E. So those 4 notes. Okay, you notice I'm kind of just pushing through them. I'm not alternate picking them because that 8 on the B string is kind of going to fly past really quick. Okay, so you just kind of push through it to get to that, wherever that is. That's a B on the 7th fret of the top E. Okay, so having arrived there, what we're then going to do is hammer on and pull off on the 10th fret using our little finger. So we get this. Okay, you basically just do that really fast. Okay, then 8 on the B, 7 on the top E. And then sliding up from, where are we? 8 on the top, on the B string, up a whole tone, so 2 frets to the 10th fret. Okay, so I'll take you through that section nice and slow. Okay, so that's the first part of the lick. The second part then goes like this. Okay, so it's a bit like a call and response. You've got the first part, which is calling out, and then the second half, which is responding. Okay, so we haven't played our little sweepy thing on the first part. The second part then goes like this, which is double stop. That means playing 10th fret on the B and E strings together. But immediately, as soon as you play that, hammer onto the 12th fret of the B string. Okay? Okay, so as soon as you've done the hammer on, you then play just the 10th fret again on the 2 strings. Okay? I'll do that really slow. Okay, and then what we're doing is we're playing 12th fret G string, 9th fret G string. And again, ending the lick on that E note because we're playing E minor pentatonic. So that second section like this. Okay, so put the whole thing together nice and slow. Okay, and up to speed. Okay, certainly the first half of that lick might take a little bit of practice to get to. There's kind of a lot of notes going on there. If you just want to jam over the backing track and that's a little bit too fiddly for you, just cut off the notes out and just play something simpler. Anyway, okay, so that was, what was that? That was licks, was that lick 7? That was lick 7. Now we're going to lick 8. So lick 8 is, it's basically a repeating lick. It's a lick that repeats 3 times, and then the 4th time we play it, we end it differently. Probably easier if I show you rather than talk you through it. Here's how it goes. Okay, and what we're doing, as you can hear, it's a repeating lick. We're repeating one idea over and over again. It's E minor pentatonic box position 1. I'll take you through the notes of the repeat. So it goes like this. Taking 14 on the G string, I'm bending it up a whole tone before grabbing 12th fret E string, 12th fret B string. So far we have this. Okay, and then what we play is 15 on the B string, pull off to 12 before bending 14 up again on the G, coming back to 12 on the B string. So that second part then goes like this. Okay, so 2 parts. Part 1 goes like this. Part 2 goes like this. Okay, put them together, you get this. Okay, and that's our little pattern that we're going to repeat. We're going to play that 3 times, and then we're going to play it a 4th time as well, but we're actually going to change the ending. So playing it 3 times, nice and slow, sounds like this. Okay, and then the 4th time we play it, we're actually going to play, start at the same, with the bend up, grab the 12th on the top E, 12 on the B string, pull off 15 to 12 on the B string, so that part's the same. And then what we're going to do is, instead of playing that second half, what we're going to do is we're just going to grab 15, play 15 on the B string, and then slide it up to 17 on the B string. So pick it twice. The first time, both times we're picking, we're on the 15th fret. It's just that the second one we're then immediately sliding up into 17th fret. So that second bar goes like this. Okay, so put that together, we get this. Okay, play the whole lick nice and slow. Okay, and when you're playing that, it's hard to kind of feel a beat when you're playing it that slow. When you're playing up to speed, it gets a little easier to feel the beat. And the beat is basically on that first note, on that bend, and then when you come into the 15 pull off to the 12. Okay, and it's easy, it's important to kind of feel where that beat is, that pulse as you're playing it, and that'll help you get it up to speed. Start it slow and wake it up. It is a bit more of a slightly more technical lick. Okay, so that was lick 9, no, it was lick 8. Lick 9 now goes like this. Okay, so we're starting by bending the 15th fret up a whole tone on the top E, coming off to 12 on the top E, 15 on the top E, 12 on the B string, 12 on the B string, 14 on the G string. So if you think of box position 1 with these notes, that's essentially what we're doing, except we're starting by, when we hit that 15 on the top E, we're bending it up a whole tone. So nice and slow. Okay, and then the second part is we're just going to grab 15 on the B string, bend it up a whole tone, and we're basically doing that 3 times. Okay, and up to speed. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please remember to subscribe, and please hit like and share this with your friends and all those kind of things. I hope you found it useful. It's a fantastic technique. It's not something that's widely used as far as I can work out, but it does kind of sounds great. Sounds great to me. Anyway, as for the next lesson, well, it's another lesson in pentatonic substitution, but whereas this lesson focused on how you do that in a minor key using E minor to play over A minor. Next lesson, we're going to look at how you would do that to in a major key, and you end up with something a lot more melodic because a lot more of those melodic notes are coming out. So, as a quick glimpse, I'll leave you with a little excerpt from next lesson.